Hi, Sam. Do you want to come on back?
Yes, hi. How are you?
Hi. So my name is Jill, and I'll be your therapist for today. And I wanted to see how you're feeling.
What was that again?
How are you feeling?
Oh, great. Try having all those kids running around at the end of the day and see how you feel. Um,
S- So did you just have a baby recently?
yes, I did. I had a baby. I had a baby.
Congratulations.
Well, if you're gonna say so, yeah, I had a baby.
You don't seem too excited about it.
Well, it's a baby. It's a baby. It's another
How,
baby.
how have you been feeling?
Not very good. Not very good. Hey, I'm not really doing too well. I just had the baby. I'm home. It's the same routine all over again.
Hmm. Are you
I'm over.
overwhelmed?
Oh yes, I am overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. I'm tired. I'm tired all the time.
Are you getting any sleep?
Barely. I don't sleep. If it's not the baby, it's the brother, it's the sister. I have to cook. I'm being pulled from several angles, from right, left, and I'm just not getting any sleep. I don't have time for myself. Look at my hair. I don't have time for myself. I don't remember the last time I took like a shower and really slept or go out with my friends. This has
Hmm.
just been.
What about your nutrition? Are you eating okay? Getting enough nutrition throughout the day, enough water, fluids?
Well, to cook is just not possible. To really
Hmm.
sit down and cook a meal is not been possible. I can't do that. I don't have time. There's just no time. I need like a 48 hour in a day, not 24, because by the time I wake up, it's 3 o'clock. I haven't eaten anything. I don't feel hungry because I'm always running around anyway. And I'm trying to breastfeed, and the breast milk is not coming. The baby is just cranky. Everything is just falling apart. And
Are you married, living with dad? The dad?
yeah, my husband is there. He's working. Of course, somebody has to work. I just had the baby. I haven't been to work in a couple of years because, I mean, I have 5 kids. Going to work doesn't make any sense because I'm going to be paid minimum wage and I can't afford babysitter. And it's like a vicious cycle. And I feel like I'm stuck in the house with these kids. I just really feel stuck. Like he comes home, he's tired from work, he's working 2 jobs. It's only me with the kids. And
What about, do you have like family or friends that are close by? A social support system?
they're there, but everybody is working. They all have their own families. They all have things that they're doing. You know how it is. And I just don't want to bother them. So I haven't really asked them for help because, I mean, the past 4 kids were, I mean, I knew what I was doing. I got everything done. I had a schedule. But with the baby and the 2-year-old, I really, the feelings I'm having is just, it's really
So
exhausting.
you haven't felt like this with your previous children, just this last one.
Yes, I feel extremely overwhelmed, extremely tired. I sleep sometimes through the baby crying, but then I feel like I don't sleep. I'm always tired, and I just don't let, like, people call, like they want to come and visit and see the baby. I don't let them because my house is terrible. I don't even have time to cook. I don't have time to entertain anybody who lives like this. I just
But the people that are calling to ask to come visit, is it possible that you could explain to them, could you give me a hand? It would actually give you a break if they came and visit.
I've
Maybe
not
you could
really
take a nap, you could pick up the house, or you could take a shower.
I've never really asked for help that
Mm.
because I've always been superwoman and get everything done. However, with
This time's
this,
different, it sounds like.
this time is very different. With this, I
Mm.
feel so, I just want to walk away from all of it. I feel like I just want to walk. I love my kids. I love my husband. I mean, but
How's your relationship with the new baby? Do you feel a connection with the baby? Do you feel disconnected or
not really connected. He's
no?
crying. Everything that he does just makes me more angry. Like I feel as if he's the reason why I can't do these things that I used to be able to do.
Hmm.
So it's not like I hate the baby. Of course, I take care of it.
Hmm.
I take care of it. I give him food, but I'm not crazy about him.
So, do you have uh, a family history of mental illness, or do you have yourself have a history of mental illness, with, either with you or with your family? History of postpartum depression within your family?
My sister had it.
Your
My
sister
sister,
had it?
my sister had postpartum depression.
I'm just taking some notes while you tell me.
Okay, yeah. My sister had postpartum depression, and I think it was because we all thought, I don't know if it was really a diagnosed case because she was going through a separation from her husband too and everything. And she's never been the same because she went into a facility. The baby was taken away from her.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's really struggled with that. So maybe it's the
So it
depression
could
or
be just depression, or it could be related to
divorce.
the.
Yeah, we're
Okay,
not
but
really sure. We're not really quite diagnosed with that.
okay,
But my husband suggested that I come see somebody or talk to somebody giving that family history.
okay. So just your sister?
Well, yeah, just my sister.
And how was your mom growing up?
We were fine. We were seven of us. It
Hmm.
was a busy household. It was always busy. Somebody was always helping, taking care of somebody. And I came from a large family, and I just thought that I could handle a large family, but I, I just don't want to deal with this anymore, Jill. I'm ready to check out. I don't know, like, where am I gonna go? Who is gonna accept me leaving my husband? So I think the
So
best,
why do you want to leave your husband?
I just can't take care of the whole family again. I think that if I walk away from it, it's gonna be able to. I don't know. I don't know. I just want to walk away from this. I want to go someplace that nobody's gonna see me. Nobody's gonna find me. I just really want to leave and just go someplace quiet that there's gonna be internal peace and
Hmm.
quiet.
Now, is there any drugs or alcohol involved? Any substance use at home with you, with your husband?
Well, I drink every now and then, maybe a little glass of wine just to take the edge off.
Hmm.
Um, a
So just
little,
occasional.
a little bit. I would like to say it's a little bit, but
Okay.
I need that. I don't do any drugs. I'm breastfeeding,
Hmm.
so but I just feel very down.
So I just want to check with you. So just because of the feelings that you're having, I just want to assess you to make sure that you're, not expressing any suicidal ideation or having any suicidal thoughts or homicidal thoughts. Um, that you're in an outpatient setting right now, that it is okay if you leave my office and go home and I can feel confident that you're safe. So I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions. Um, and if that's okay with you, I can continue.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So have you been having any thoughts about, self-harm, harming yourself in any sort of way, whether it be just to release emotions or to maybe even end your life and, you know,
I've,
looking.
that comes across my mind more often than not. I think about it a
Okay.
lot since I came home with the baby. since I came home with the baby, it's like I had that baby and something changed. Something in
Okay.
me just left me. I think about that as an option. It's much more now as the days go by, as the weeks go by. I think about like ending it all, walking away, just going someplace quiet. But then I also think about the kids and the love that I have for my husband.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I'm afraid that I might act on that.
So, do you have a plan or an idea or a way that you would act on that?
I have thought about just drinking a whole lot and
Mm-hmm.
just drive. I love water, just driving off and going for a swim
Mm-hmm.
um, in the ocean. So I've thought about that.
What about, oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's summer, it's hot, so I've thought about just getting me a bottle of wine and just go down to the river and just cool off and just go away. I've thought about that, has crossed my mind.
And what about harming someone else? I mean, any of the kids, your husband, the new baby? Any thoughts about that?
Um, no, I've just thought about leaving them be. I've not thought about, I've
Mm-hmm.
not, yeah, even as much as I don't really want to take care of them anymore,
Mm-hmm.
I've not thought about killing them, but I've thought about myself.
Okay. Now, do you think that that's something that you would act upon? Are you unsure? You definitely wouldn't. You definitely would.
I have an ambivalence about that. Like I go back and forth with that.
Mm-hmm.
I go back and forth. And every time I think about it, I have a plan. I think I'm gonna go through with it. I I find a justification or a reason to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the feeling come again, I get upset like I should have just done it that last time
Mm-hmm.
and get it done and over with. So it's just over and over.
Okay. So what about today? When we're done today, is it something that you are thinking about that, or if you go home today, you're not going to feel safe, or it's a possibility that you might act on these behaviors at home? Um,
It is a possibility that I can
okay.
act on them. It is a possibility. I've had them more often than um not.
Okay. So so there's a couple of different types of treatment. So there's outpatient treatment, which is what we're doing here, and that usually is dependent on if people can, give me confirmation that they would be safe leaving my office and going home and going about their lives. If there's any question that they're not safe or in immediate danger, we, ask them to, um, go into a further, more intensive, aggressive um, program where you can be monitored for your safety if you can't contract for safety and you're not feeling safe being alone or being with your children, or that you have these thoughts and it's a possibility you might act on them. And then there's another plan we can do, and if you can be confident that when you go home today that you will not act on these behaviors, that you would reach out to either um, psychiatric emergency services, 911, go to your local hospital, contact us after hours because we do have on-call services. If these thoughts persist, that's also another possibility, but it sounds like you don't feel safe leaving today and going home, that it is possible that you would act on these behaviors.
Yeah.
Okay. So you would seem like you would fall more into a inpatient therapy type of program, where you would go and stay there and be monitored and evaluated until you can confirm being safe. because it's not safe for you or me or the children or your husband to go home and have these thoughts, that you want to end your life, and that it's a possibility that you may act on them, whether it's, drinking excessively or driving your car into a body of water, like you mentioned. Um, so I think that would be a better fit for you at this moment. When did you start feeling like this? Has it been the whole um, postpartum? Is it recently? Is it?
This is when I got home with the baby. Everything was fine for just about 2 weeks.
Okay.
And
So
then the
pretty
baby's,
much the whole last 8 months you've been feeling like this.
yes, yeah.
And how come you haven't, made any actions or done any of these behaviors since?
I
If
don't
you're
know.
having these thoughts, how come you haven't acted on them?
Because I look on justification, the reason why I need to go on,
Hmm.
and the reason why I have to keep living. Um, Sometimes the reason is the kids, and sometimes the reason is against the kids, like they're the reason why I want to jump off the bridge.
Hmm.
And sometimes they're the reason why I want to leave, the little moments that are priceless, that makes me feel whole, that makes me
Hmm.
feel like myself again. Uh,
Now, is this something you feel all day long? Is this something you feel only in the morning, only at night, sometimes here and there?
it's I'll say in a 24-hour day,
Yep.
it's 20 of those hours. When my
Okay.
husband gets home, it kind of eases out. It's almost like I'm afraid to be alone. I just feel so overwhelmed. Like
Hmm.
I can't plan activities. I can't do the things I used to do. I just like I'm numb.
So now what would your goal be if you could have things your way and you didn't feel like this? What do you picture your life to be like each day?
Get up, be happy, take a shower, feed the kids, feed myself, go out to the park, um, visit friends, let my family come to visit. Um, Maybe start taking some classes or going back to school to get my GED.
So
Just,
what's preventing you now from taking a shower or having your family come visit?
I don't have the energy to do that.
But if your family came to visit and kind of took over watching the kids for a little while, maybe you could get a free time to take a shower and have some breakfast, have some food.
That's a thought. I won't judge me.
What about if you were me, what would you say to you?
I would say I need help.
Hmm.
I would say I need help, that I can't do this by myself.
Okay. And getting more help from your husband, is that an option?
We've talked about it, and it's like, I don't know what you want me to do.
Hmm.
Somebody has to work, has to pay the mortgage, has to
Hmm.
feed the kids. So if he cuts down his hours, then we're gonna go without. Um, so financially, we're tight as well.
Who's watching the kids now for you to be here?
My mom,
So is this something she could do more often, maybe?
I could ask her,
Hmm.
ask her.
That will free up your time, and then you could either come here, you could come take a shower,
Okay,
you could cook yourself some breakfast, maybe you could take a walk, go to a store.
okay.
Hmm. For right now, I think that we should make some phone calls and get you into inpatient. Um, we'll get things situated with your family, so that they're taken care of while you go and get yourself some help, more intensive help than what we can do in outpatient. And then once you're feeling better and more stable in that aspect, we could have you come follow back up with me and continue outpatient services as long as you can, feel confident in your safetyness at home. Um, and, that you would notify someone if these thoughts persisted, um, or if they came about, and you would call and get yourself help so you don't act on these intrusive thoughts.
Who is going to take care of the kids? Will they take my kids away from me? People will think I'm crazy. I mean, I know I'm crazy.
No, but what you have, I think you're exhibiting a form of postpartum depression, which is common. A lot of women deal with this after having children. It's the variances of the hormones and the emotions. You could never have it. You could have it after every child. You could have it after one, but not the others. It varies for each individual. Every pregnancy, every woman is different. So what you're expressing today and what you're telling me are is indicating to me some form of postpartum. Seeing that you've been feeling this way about 2 weeks after getting home with your newborn. You're mentioning that you are not fully connected with your baby, so that's not something you want to have either. You don't want to have a disconnect with your child. So I think we need to get you feeling better about yourself and feeling more stable, back to normal a little bit, and then we can continue outpatient services. But for now, we'll call your husband and make a plan to make sure your family is taken care of so you can get the help that you need.
All right, he's going to freak out, but I need to take care of me in order to take care of anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can talk to him too.
Okay. I like that. I think
Okay.
coming from you here,
Okay.
much more realistic about it. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So we'll make those calls, and then I'll see you when you get out.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I didn't even think to ask. I was going to ask if it was planned or unplanned pregnancy, but I forgot.
We're supposed to, are you still recording?
Yes. All right. Well, flip-flop.
All right. Hi, Sam. Good
Hi.
afternoon. What brought you in to see me today?
So my husband kind of told me to reach out for some help because I haven't been myself lately.
Okay.
And I've been acting differently, according to him.
When you say you haven't been yourself today, is it just today or lately?
Lately.
How are you acting differently?
Well, he keeps telling me that I'm sleeping too much. I'm not waking up like I should be or like I used to. He tells me that I'm not as attentive to our children, which I haven't been. I've pretty much lost interest in most things that I enjoyed. And I'm honestly not excited to wake up anymore.
How long ago did this start?
This started several months ago, probably when I just had Michael, probably when Michael was a couple months old, about a month or two old.
Oh, that's good. How old is Michael?
He's 8 months now.
8 months. I'm just taking up some notes if you see me writing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other kids? How old are the kids?
So Michael is the newest addition. He's 8 months. I have
Okay.
4 other children,
Okay.
7, 4, 3.
Mm-hmm.
The fourth one's almost going to be 2, and then the 8-month-old.
Okay. So you have 5 children under the age of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And did you have these symptoms that you're having, this feeling down and not wanting to get up, um, lack of attention caring for yourself? Did you have them after you had the other kids, or is this just ideal with the case of Michael?
This is just recently. Yeah, I've never felt like this before.
And how does that make you feel? Like, you have a newborn baby, supposedly,
Hmm.
for most parents, they're excited to have a new baby or excited to take care of the baby.
Hmm.
However, you're having these feelings that are pretty much out of your norm. How does that make you feel?
I feel terrible. I feel like a bad mother. I feel like a bad wife. I I just feel so bad that I'm even neglecting my other four children, including the baby.
Oh, sorry, kind of paused.
Mm.
Yeah.
Should I repeat that?
No, it's saying that internet connection is unstable. But anyway, yeah. So yes, please. How does that make you feel?
So I feel like a bad mother. I feel like a bad parent, a bad wife. I'm neglecting the four other children in addition to the new baby, just because I feel so bad every day. I wake up and I just feel terrible.
These feelings that you're having, and the time frame that you're having all these symptoms, this lack of sleep, loss of attention, loss of interest, inability to take care of yourself and your kids, feeling as a bad mom. I mean, you have four other kids, so there's something that you pretty much did right the previous time. But by no means or no fault of your own, you're feeling this way. So usually this is what we'll classify under postpartum depression.
Hmm.
Classify this under postpartum depression. And it's not ideal to you because you had four other kids or because you had Michael. This is by no fault Michael's or none of yours. It does affect, some women after having a baby, they develop these symptoms and it can progress and it can be dangerous to you, yourself, and to your baby. Okay.
Hmm.
So, with these feelings that you're having, this feeling of inadequacy that you're having, have you thought about, harming yourself or the baby? Does your family feel safe around you, you think?
I don't think my husband knows. I don't think he knows the extent. My children know that I'm just different, that I'm just not involved as much, that I'm not as happy and I don't play with them as much. Um, but I do have some thoughts sometimes that, I would just rather be better off not being here.
Oh, and how often do those thoughts creep up in you?
It's frequent. It's not every day because I feel like I'm so busy that I don't have time to always think about it. But when I get a second and I go to the bathroom or laying in bed at night or in between getting up with Michael, I do think about those thoughts. He's just always crying and I'm never sleeping, and it's just so hard juggling all of the children.
It's almost as if you feel like you've lost your sense of freedom,
Hmm.
your sense of personal touch. Is that what you're? Yeah, that's what I'm listening to you say. And have you ever thought about killing yourself or harming others? I'm just
Not so much harming others. I have felt like sometimes if Michael needs me, I don't want to tend to him.
mm,
Um, but I would never hurt him.
okay.
And I have thought about, you know, hurting myself. I don't know how I would do it, but I have thought, you know, I would feel better if I just ended my life so that I didn't feel like this anymore.
Do you have any weapons or any large quantity of medications at home, or any plans on items in your house that you've thought about using to harm yourself?
No, I don't know how I would do it. I just I just feel like it sometimes it would be better.
Okay. All right. So what you're having right now and what you're presenting is that you're having this suicidal ideation, but they're not frequent enough and you don't have an actual plan to harm yourself, despite the fact that you're having these feelings and these thoughts. And because you're having them, together we have to create a plan, a safety net to help you manage your surroundings, manage this depression that you're having, and put more resources around you so that way it can help you. Okay.
Okay.
And so what I'll do is that I'll develop a list with you and develop a plan with you. If you start having these thoughts that you're having, I would like for you to call the 1-800 suicide prevention number. I'll write it down for you before you leave.
Okay.
The number is 1-800. Let me just make sure that I have the right number. 1 minute. This is a good number to have. If these feelings and these thoughts become so intense that you feel that you're going to act on them, I want you to call this number. This is a 24-hour hotline number that you can call. It's 1-800-273-8255. They're open 24/7. So if you were ever in a position that these feelings and these thoughts become so intense that you want to act on them, I would call this number just for safety.
Okay.
Also, my clinic, we do have on-call staff that can triage signs and symptoms and see you immediately. 24 hours. I want you to call that number. And in case you can't find these numbers and you're feeling very overwhelmed, you can also call 911.
Okay.
Okay. And also, I would say when you're having these feelings, calling a family member. So in your list of connection and social network, who would you call for support? Who are your emergency contact? Somebody that you,
Probably my mother at this time.
your mother. So what I'll do is that I'll write the suicide prevention number on a piece of paper, on a card, an index card, and I'll also put your mother's number as well. Besides your mother, who else can you call?
My husband, but I wouldn't want to call him first. He's too busy.
He's too busy. Okay. So we have your mother. Any friends or neighbors around that you can use?
I haven't talked to anybody recently.
Yeah, I won't talk to anybody. So you're keeping this private. You're kind of holding this all in and trying to be the superwoman.
Hmm.
Well, Sam, what I'll encourage you to do is at least we can have 3 numbers for backup, okay? The 1-800 suicide number, prevention number, um, my number, and your mother's number. So this will be emergency numbers that you can call if you start feeling like you're going to act on these plans and these thoughts that you're having, on the feelings and thoughts that you're having,
Okay.
okay? Another thing that I'll ask you is that I'll have to have you commit. Commit, I mean, with commit, I mean that you have to engage in coming to therapy with me at least 2 times a week for the time being,
Okay.
okay? So keep coming to therapy, and the goal of this therapy is that we're going to develop strategies to help you manage your time, strategies to help you manage your anxiety, and you'll be engaged in homework. Is that something that you'll be doing, that you'll be willing to undertake to
Yeah.
help yourself?
I don't know if I'll have the time, but I can try.
So besides your mother, who else can help babysit the kids for you?
There's really nobody.
I can also get you connected with the social worker that we have here on site that can help you with outpatient services like PACE and WIC
That
and
would be
Head
helpful.
Start. those will help, especially like your 7-year-old and your 4-year-old. They
Hmm.
can go into these programs, for half the day, kind of give you some space so you can, better take care of yourself and manage, things around the house so you're not feeling so overwhelmed.
Okay.
All
That
right.
would be helpful.
So I'll call Marie on that. I'll just take a note on that. I'll call Marie to help you to get you connected to these services. Um, and so I'll see you 2 times a week. However, if you feel as if you need me or you need an emergency visit, you can always call and we'll try to fit you in.
Okay.
By emergency visits, I mean that if you're feeling like you're going to act on this thoughts that you're having and it's during the day, the clinic is open and you don't trust to call the 800 number, you can come right to the clinic and call us. We'll
Okay.
find, you can either see me or see my partner in the clinic. All right. I'm just going to ask you a question that is usually, very engaging as far as for clients that will have suicide ideation. What is one thing that would have you change your feeling right now about suicide? What is one thing, if you were to change anything, what would that be?
What would change me thinking this way?
Yes, what would one thing that if you have to change about your whole scenario, about your whole thoughts and your feelings, what is one thing that you could do to change it? What is one thing that would change it for you?
I think I need more sleep and less responsibility.
More sleep and responsibility. So, for example, if we get the other 3 kids out to Head Start, because they have to be 2 years and older to get to Head Start. So if we get them out of the house for Head Start, then you have your baby, and Michael and the brother. And so we can also put out a plan on how your typical day would look like. For example, if your husband leaves for work
Hmm.
and the kids go to Head Start, you can get Michael and the brother, put them in the stroller, go to the mall, go for a walk around the park, try to avoid being isolated in the house by yourself, visit friends. So doing things that involves people, socializing with people, because when you're with people, these feelings and these thoughts become less intense. Okay, like you're right now with me, do you feel like you want to hurt yourself or anything?
Not in this moment, no.
Not in this moment, because clinically, it has been proven that when you are with people and when you're surrounded with people in a social network connection or you're busy doing the things that you like to do, you have less thoughts and less feeling of suicide. Okay?
Mhm.
So if you have this couple of hours in a day where the older kids are out of the house, going to the mall, having that time frame for yourself, just going for walks, being out in nature is another method that you can help with the anxiety and the stressors that you're having as far as feeling overwhelmed as a new mother. Is that something that you can engage in doing?
Mhm.
And then also, if your husband comes back from work, helping you out with dinner might also be another way to help you, give you some time just to sit for yourself. Any favorite TV shows that you like watching or doing, Netflix shows that you do for yourself?
It's been a long time since I've watched TV besides, children shows.
Yeah. Well, if your husband is home from work and you can snuck that time out and go to the green room and sit there for yourself, that's another thing that you can feel adult, because right now you feel like you're talking baby talk and
Mhm.
everything you do is surrounded by babies and being around the baby, and that's an overwhelming feeling. So if you have an adult time, having your mother also coming in and going to the mall, that's something that with your husband, going for a movie, going on date nights, that might also make you or help you get connected. Okay.
Mhm.
These suicide ideation feelings that you're having and feeling very overwhelmed after having a baby is something that we can manage here in the clinic. I do not think that it warrants you going home. Do you feel safe going home right now? If you were to go home, do you feel safe going home?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, from the presentation that you give, it's classic for postpartum depression. And because you don't have an actual plan on harming yourself and you can return home safely, I'll recommend that you go home. But again, I'll give these numbers that we've had together and these plans that we've had. I would like you to visit me later on this week on Friday and kind of see how you did as far as, taking a walk, having a me time, or having a special time just for you and your husband, an adult time. And once the kids start get enrolled in the Head Start program, that will also help relieve you.
Okay.
And also, if this form of treatment doesn't really help in the long run and this progresses and you feel as if you're not making any resolutions or feeling any optimistic about returning back to your basal self, what we can do then, I can recommend or refer you to a psychiatric that can intervene with medications at that time. But right now, we're going to keep doing this 2 times a week. I'll give you little chores and little homework to do, and keep engaging you with resources out in the community that can help you as a new mother and help you deal with this as well. They also have not in my facility, but in the city where we live, because we both live in the same city, they also have a group, a postpartum depression group for new mothers.
Okay.
That's something that you can either go there alone, as it's a 1 hour group. It runs at 6 p.m. So for example, when your husband come home from work, he can take over the kids and you can go out to that group and meet with other mothers. And then once a month, they have the mothers bring their babies with them, the newborn baby. So kind of like a way to connect and get that social network to really straighten out for you. Is that something that you'd be willing to?
It would be easier for me to do it online if that's possible, but because of my the tight schedule I have.
Okay.
But
I'm
if I
not
could make it, I would.
You would. Okay. So I'm not quite sure if they have it online, but I'm very sure that they have it, a physical face-to-face meeting, 6:30, and it runs 3 days a week. So for example, if you can't go on Monday, you can go on Wednesday. If you can't go on Wednesday, you can go on Friday. And but I'll check and see if there's another one that runs online or that they do FaceTime and stuff like that I can get you connected. But in the city, I know only of that particular group at Charlton that runs face-to-face.
Okay.
All right. So with this plan that we have, I do feel confident sending you home or letting you go home with the trust that you would give me a call, or call the suicide line, or call 911, or call your mother just to reiterate if you're having these feelings and these thoughts, if they become very intensified that you can't handle. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you very much. I'll see you on Friday.
Okay, sounds good.
What time on Friday is good for you?
Probably 6.
Okay. All right. So we have an appointment at 6 o'clock. Thank you. And I'll see you on Friday.
Okay.
Bye.